Hi, my name is Mark Oos, and I'm the Global CTO for AI. And welcome to our Metahumans and Virtual Humans discussion. Today I have with me Arun Sahu and Deepa Mamtani. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, this is Arun Sahu. I'm part of the Surgery Global AI team and also lead the Center of Excellence from Surgery India.
Hi, and I'm Deepa, and at SOGT, I'm the AI Center of Excellence lead in the Netherlands, and I've been an AI evangelist since the first time I was Terminator.
Diving into it. The reason why we chose this topic is because we really just want to have a chat around metahumans, as we think it is really interesting and really exciting because it mixes both tech, sci-fi, but even things like psychology. So let's start a discussion, and before we get into it, I'd like you to introduce to a special guest who is our panelist number 4. Please, Daisy, can you introduce yourself?
Hello. I am Daisy, your new colleague, powered by AI. I can do so much more than you think. Discuss work, find information, manage tasks, fill in forms, talk to your customers in the language they want and more. You can do all of this without pressing a button.
Hi Daisy, nice to meet you. So, can you tell me what are metahumans?
Metahuman, the next stage in human evolution. Metahumans are humans with some kind of special ability. Some possibilities are enhanced strength, telekinesis, telepathy, teleportation, photokinesis, super speed, super intelligence, super reflex, etc. With current technology, ARI is enabling virtual humans to be metahumans.
Whoa. So when people hear that, I think they immediately think of science fiction, X-Men, Marvel Universe. Mark, what is your take on this?
Look like science fiction, but it's basically a next step in creating smarter, more human-like AI. Like we started with chatbots, very rule-based chatbots that weren't like that human-like and were not being accepted as such. Going to a next steps with the smart assistants that we now have, like Siri and Alexa, being more and more part of our daily lives. And meta-humans, although it looks like science fiction, are just around the corner, and they will give even a better and more human-like experience. They really give you the feeling that you have a new person in your home, being at your disposal, and being there to do all the nice things like automation, tech, and AI.
To add to what Mark said, the new age metahumans, the virtual humans that we have, are much smarter, or they look like a science fiction. You can relate it to the Jarvis of Iron Man, where it can understand various languages. It can talk in those languages in the right accent. It can also understand or map all the information that are around to create a complete knowledge graph that can give the information that is really not possible for a human to map and give in a short span of time, I would say, or with the change in the information or data that is happening in the current world. They can be a right advisor. They can be faithful, unbiased to give information to you. They can advise the right possible uh, thing that is really needed at that point of time. At this point in time, they have also evolved now to understand the sentiments of a person. They can react to it, understanding the emotional factor around a person. So they have grown, they have been growing, and they are becoming the real metahumans.
Gaming is, of course, the most relevant application for metahumans, so it's no shock that the technology has evolved from there. I mean, think about the evolution of visuals from PS2 to PS5. It's pretty insane. But it's really interesting to see that they're opening it up to other sectors like engineering and manufacturing, architecture and design, and even healthcare. Virtual humans in healthcare is particularly interesting because when you think about the lack of access to healthcare and how that can be overcome by telemedicine, and by using virtual humans to provide the first primary diagnose, will really free up a lot of the real human doctors to focus on the more complicated cases. And that's a lot of tremendous value right there. Taking this a step further, we could even have virtual therapists providing mental health support to humans that need it. And of course, in business, we can have virtual humans as our virtual counterparts, so-called cobots, but even as customer service agents.
But what are the exactly business applications of virtual humans? And why did we create a DAISY in the first place? So basically, if you talk about business applications, there are so many of them. First of all, of course, you have storefronts that can be completely virtual, that you can start having conversations, doing the orders. And because DAISY is fully smart, you can basically put all the information of your company in there. So see it as maybe a help desk employee who knows all the questions that can be answered, because we have very advanced tech on the back and with a full-fledged brain-like interface where we can answer all the questions that are related to each other. And getting all this information in one place, in one person, really gives your organization a way to have much smarter conversations with your customer, be it in the store, be it on the phone, be it in any place, because it's completely virtual. But Arun can talk a bit more about how we are making sure that DAISY doesn't only look like a human, but can also. So let's dive in some of very interesting use cases that you can do when you have a virtual human. The first one that we see quite often when we are talking to clients is that they really want to enable new users on either a platform or any other product that they are launching to be guided by a virtual human being. What if you have your personal assistant that can guide you completely around the platform, also is your personal helper if you have some issues, for example, with logging in, with some other issues around a technical oriented platform. It is very easy then for users to get accustomed to it and to really start leveraging the platform as well. Also, when we're talking about a bit more call center kind of use cases, if you have an organization that does quite a lot of call center work, we see that creating a more human-like experience around the call center can divert quite a lot of calls towards a virtual human. They are much easier to interact with. They can also do follow-up questions. They can have much smarter answers and therefore able to respond way more and way better to your end clients, giving the customer experience much better, because a lot of current customer experience is waiting, right? If you need to start calling to an agent, you need to wait for quite some time before you get one on the phone. With DAISY, it's practically instant, because you can have as much instances as you want. There is not one DAISY, you can have 1,000, 1,000,000. You can basically elastically scale it up to the amount of calls that are coming in. And it is able to do way more than traditional chatbots are. But maybe even more exciting use case than the ones before, when it really replaces current chatbot capabilities, is enhancing customer experience. Enhancing customer experience can be done in a couple of ways. For example, if you are a fashion outlet or a fashion store online, you want to show off new fashion, you now need to hire quite a lot of models and put the clothing on and really shooting and then creating a website and putting it on there. What if somebody is looking totally different and wants to still show, or wants to still have a feel, how would it look on her? With virtual humans, the possibilities are basically limitless. You can create all these new humans that can basically fit with this new fashion. So you can see how it would look on your typical body, with your face, with your look and feel. And this makes them for a better customer experience, but also for a lot of fashion has been sent back because people tend to buy more and then trying it at home, especially nowadays during COVID times, and then sending quite a lot back, and also reducing the CO2 footprint of these sending back and forth of packages can be done by using virtual humans, where you give it a much more intimate experience because they can really see it on their own style, in their own body, in their own basically environment. Another one is if you have, for example, you have car showrooms, or you have any other showroom where you normally interact quite often with representatives from a car agent, from a car dealership. Sometimes you need to wait for a couple of minutes, maybe to get introduced to the car, etc., etc. It would be amazing if you can make this also that experience way more digital, where you can already start asking questions about different cars where you're passing by to an actual human being. It could be on the screen, it could be in VR, it could be any other thing, to really get more information about the car. So and also give answers back about some necessary questions, and that can also be done by a virtual human. And the last but not the least one, I think, is also very important, is that when you're talking about healthcare, when you're talking about really intimate environments, if you, for example, have a disease or whatever, some people are very afraid to talk about it with a real human being. And these virtual humans, especially if you really state that they are, of course, not real, people tend to open up a bit more because they know there is no actual human being looking over the shoulder. They can also be a bit more open of the disease they have, how it caused. Maybe they're a bit embarrassed of how they got it. And with these virtual humans, they can be way more open, and it could really help in becoming more active towards the patient that needs really the help and is now afraid to ask for it. So these are a very diverse set of use cases. There are way more than that. Maybe bringing the past back to life in museums, having real events taking place on the fly, anywhere where you basically start interacting with human beings. It could be even, for example, on a fast food chain. Instead of asking somebody in the intercom, you can maybe see a human being on the intercom that can take your order. Basically, the possibilities are limitless. And that's why this technology is so exciting, because it goes way beyond what we have now. Like way beyond chatbots, way beyond even virtual assistants that are already in our daily lives. And I'm really excited about it.
Thanks, Mark. So Daisy has been an idea that we have been talking about for quite some time now. We came up with this idea of having a person, a virtual person that can come in between the machines and the real human. And that is where we thought of creating a virtual human that can understand and react like a human. The first thing that we started was the look, and it should look like a human for the trust factor, and it should be as real as a real human. So we have used various deep learning methodologies, I would say, getting into a bit of technology. We have used GANs to generate various faces and come up with the face of Daisy with the virtual experience given by various industries like Unreal Engine. We have tried to integrate Unreal Engine's capability to give a real look to Daisy. So with the real human look, it started evolving like a digital human, and then came in the technology of the language model that can give a real feel of conversation to Daisy. So we have integrated the language model to it. For example, GPT-3 that is integrated with Daisy, that can give that real feel of conversation with a person, backing up with the custom developed models that can be trained on the specifics or domains of an organization. Apart from GPT-3, it uses a complete knowledge graph methodology to learn the data to give the right information back. It is also equipped with a lot of speech uh, models that can talk various languages in the right accent. So altogether, it's something that a complete human with a brain of understanding the data with a face to make it look real, and also it is equipped with a lot of actions. I mean that it can take some actions out of the conversation and do things for you. When Daisy realized that this is the time when a real human should step in, it is also equipped to seamlessly transfer the entire conversation from a virtual person to a real person. So you would feel like you have been speaking to a personal assistant throughout the conversation. So going back to Daisy. So Daisy, would you like to talk about the language model that is helping you talk like a human?
The language model that I am currently equipped is GPT-3. GPT-3 is a model built by OpenAI. GPT-3 was designed to model human behavior in language, not to directly represent the meaning of language. At the same time, it is important to stress that GPT-3 is not a language recognizer. It is not designed to work with the actual words of any language. Rather, its job is to determine the likelihood of a given sequence of words being a sentence.
It's interesting to hear about how it all came together, since I wasn't really involved in the process of creating Daisy. But what I'm now thinking about is, what are the other players doing in the market? So what are the Googles and the Apples of the world doing in this space?
Bit like that we are the only ones who are in this space, but we really aren't. Already quite a lot of companies are doing a lot of research into virtual humans. Be it Tesla with their new announced Tesla bot, right? To have a full assistant that can walk even around your house. So not even virtual anymore, but really real life. Or maybe Microsoft, who's also creating a full solution with AR and VR around it. And also Samsung is working on it. But so we see all these real big tech players already trying to evolve. And we, of course, are also following them, but also creating our own solution as well. So it's really combining the best of all these tech companies like Epic Games to Samsung to Microsoft and create a full solution because it's already around the corner.
Here we go. So really what Metahumans can really shine and make a big impact are areas which involve human interactions, so like healthcare and customer care. But this really starts blurring the lines between real and synthetic, decreasing human interaction and replacing it with a virtual connection begs us to consider the psychological and ethical aspects of all of this. So maybe a question to the both of you: how do we govern and bring ethics into all of this?
Two main concerns from an ethical standpoint of view, what I see with this new technology. The first one is more around the brain. How can we make sure that we test it in such a way that it becomes stable enough to not give any answers that would be either harming or unethical towards the customers that you're interacting with. On the other hand, you have, of course, with the appearance of Daisy or of any other virtual human, how do we make her or him look? But also, we should be very clear when we are using these virtual humans, because they come harder and harder to distinguish from real humans, that we really need to make clear as well too, when we are using them, that we inform the user that they are talking to a virtual AI-assisted human instead of a real human being. And these for me are really key points when you start implementing this type of technology.
So Daisy, in this ever-changing world where things that those were science fiction is now coming into reality with virtual people like you, do you think with all those changes that's happening and people plan to rely on virtual humans, what is your thought on can human trust?
AI is not yet at human levels of intelligence, but it is advancing rapidly. AI is the ability of a machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. While the big tech firms are investing in AI technology, they are also trying to keep it under wraps. Almost every large tech firm has been working on artificial intelligence for years, but they have done so in secret, fearing public backlash. This is because every time somebody mentions the word artificial intelligence, somebody else jumps in saying robots are going to take over the world. The truth is that artificial intelligence is not yet at human levels of intelligence. We are here to help you in variety of situations with all principles of AI. We can help in collaborative decision making. As per me, humans should trust us.
Free up and align your workforce to focus on the areas where their impact matters the most. So, how can you get started? Get in touch.